hurricane, a tidal wave. Essence perfect, life looks brilliant, give me more of this. I'm out of control, about to blow, and I've been caught in the undertow. So toxic, but I can't get enough. You're burying me, burying me. Yeah, you're burying me, burying me. You've got me hypnotized. Push me out of myself. You've got me hypnotized. Whoa, I can sing, I can hear. Everyone is watching me when I'm coming around. They all are judging me when I'm lying on the ground. I've got no shelter, I've got no escape. My life is a prison and I can't run away. I feel it in my bones. I'm losing it.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to another great episode of Taking Over. I am Oled Ed Fries, and I'm joined by the Queen of Olay, Astrid, the Natural Pizarro.
I knew this was gonna haunt me afterwards. I knew it.
The Queen of our local establishment, eh? I mean,
I didn't
I
come
know
up with that name. I don't want that name.
I know I'm the king, but apparently I have to send it to you now so that you can be the queen. I mean, during the King of the Ring, I made myself king, but apparently you're the queen now, so welcome to the queendom. It is taking over. Hello,
Yes.
Shansina. Thank you for joining us. Wow, week 2 was a bit eventful.
Really? Was it?
I mean, a lot happened in a really short amount of time.
Yeah.
I looked up at one point. I was like, "Oh my god, it's 9:30."
I said it before. NXT does very well with their 2 hours. They time well spent.
Sometimes these 2 hours take forever, but tonight they knew what they were doing. They were in and they're out tonight.
They're like,
I thought that Ethan versus Ower was the main event. They never said it last week. It's just NXT's thing that we normally have matches like that main event.
Yeah.
I was a bit surprised it didn't main event. Then I saw the match they were putting together and went, yeah, that's not a main event. There's a way it could have been the main event, and we'll talk about that soon. Tease. Boom. But no, NXT, they're heating up on their way to the CW. And boy, I mean, before we even went on the air, Shawn Michaels dropping the bombs this week. I am a former radio student. I have learned about teasing. So soon.
I like we both have backgrounds on it, but at different ways, because yours is in the radio, mine is in writing.
Yeah, we literally are the perfect pair, because I can talk about it all day and you can write it all down.
Yes.
But no, Shawn Michaels today letting us know that the first 2 episodes of the CW version of NXT that starts on October 1st are not only going to be live, which they almost always are, but they're going to be on the road in Chicago and St. Louis. And it took me far too long to come along to the conclusion that the reason why CM Punk is on the first episode and Randy Orton is on the second is because they're hometown heroes.
Shame.
Get the tables coming in and saying this is his reaction to NXT. Indeed, it was Astrid's reaction to the end of NXT.
I recorded a little bit of it.
But yes, we're going to have CM Punk for week 1 of NXT on the CW, which is going to pop a number. We have Randy Orton going to be there live for the crowd. And again, this is now that we know that we're running the Allstate Arena in Chicago and we're running the big arena in St. Louis, the reason why you're bringing CM Punk and Randy Orton is to make sure that arena is not too empty. I'd prefer they go back to running the smaller arenas in these markets because that's the show we're going to get week in and week out. And I think that's the better idea for the audience that you're giving a new look to on the CW. But what do you think? CM Punk and Randy Orton, desperation, just a ratings grab, or is it good marketing?
I mean, it's something that I'm used to already with WWE. We already saw it when they did the premiere of SmackDown Live, when they brought in, the Brock Lesnar and the Becky Lynch Part 2, and then, so many
Rock?
things that,
The
The Rock too. They know when the season premiere happens, they want to go all out somehow. So this is not surprising. I'm glad though that they're getting ahead of it by announcing it more than a month in advance at this point, because it's in October. It's like this rarely happens when they show something so in advance. And yeah, I was so surprised about that end of it, because it's so, it feels like so far away, but we know the way it is with wrestling, it feels like it's gonna be coming up sooner or later than we think about it. But this is something that they do when the season premieres happen, and I'm glad they're doing it with NXT as well, just to like bring more eyes to the product as well. I just hope they don't keep going back to Chicago the way AEW used to do, because I want AEW to come here more often, but they decided to keep going to Chicago. I'm like, I get it's a big market, but move all around, because I haven't been able to go to AEW because you keep going to Chicago, even. So at this point, I hope they don't stick to that. It did not take me as long as Ed to realize why Punk and Randy were on the poster. Once I automatically saw the cities at the bottom, I knew why.
Yep, that didn't click. Did not click at all that the first arena was Chicago and St. Louis. Nope.
Yeah, and I wanted to go back to what Tony's saying here. One of those nights I think they go up against AEW, if I'm mistaken, is the 8th that they go against AEW that Tuesday.
Oh, is AEW preempted that week?
Yep.
I was going to say, because the CW made it very clear that they didn't want competition. So they were specifically staying with Tuesdays to avoid anything like that.
Yeah, I think it's the 8th for some reason they go there. So that'll be interesting.
Which is the bigger reach to get people in the door? Is it NXT bringing in Randy Orton and CM Punk? Or Marvel bringing in Robert Downey Jr.?
Oh, gosh. Dang, how do you put me in this position, though? I can't pick one.
Which one is the bigger cash grab? Which one is the one trying to lure people in with a big name?
I would say RDJ, because it's a hard reset with RDJ involved in there, so... Sorry.
STG says Marvel. Yep. I mean, I love the idea of Robert Downey Jr. playing Dr. Doom. I think that there's infinite especially this point in the MCU. And again, we've talked about this with Marvel Talk, but as a quick aside for anybody who hasn't seen those episodes, the reason why I love the RDJ announcement is because it's going to be for 2 movies. Like this is going to be 2-3 movies. We're not seeing this for, the next 5 to 10 years. We're seeing a very specific Doctor Doom for Avengers Doomsday and Avengers Secret Wars. And then after Secret Wars, we're going to get the hard reset where there's going to be a lot of new characters portraying new people portraying old characters. So give it a chance before everybody starts jumping on it as, just a simple cash grab. It's not as simple a cash grab as people think. But it is absolutely 1,000% a cash grab. Robert Downey Jr. will bring people to... That Doomsday will be one of the biggest Marvel movies, if it's any good. Because that opening weekend is going to be massive. And then the future numbers will depend on how good that movie is and what if it has staying power. But we're not here to talk about Marvel, even though Astrid could do that. Astrid will be talking Marvel with us as we, for a few of the episodes of Agatha All Along. We'll be having Astrid pop in because anything...
I have people call your people, okay? And we'll get out. We'll figure it out.
Oh, the queen is big timing me. I have to go through the royal court jesters. I'll find Mark Talks Wrestling and go through the proper channel. Or maybe we'll just get a bigger guest. Who knows? Is Chef Sean cooking for Marvel too? No, Chef Sean is only cooking. I don't think Chef Sean knows what a Marvel is. Chef Sean is definitely, yes, Hollywood Astrid. The queen is starting to get a lot of large. She's going to have to start. The reason why she wears the little earbud headphones is so she doesn't have to keep changing the headphones with the size of her ego.
No.
Speaking of all ego, he was on the show, and we'll talk about him later. But first, we start with a recap package of last week. We have Hank Tank talking about their vlog of what happened last week, which is all stuff we saw. But then we get into Trick Williams versus Pete Dunne. Ash, what'd you think?
I'm torn about it because I felt like it was okay. I didn't think like it was anything that big to be an opener. At least that's how like the energy it gave me, and that's the unfortunate part because I was hoping it would be more like picking up the energy from the fans from the get go, and it didn't feel that way. And I was torn about it as well to the point of like I wouldn't know which one to pick to win this match because I would have wanted Trick to like gain that momentum towards the championship. But at the same time, it feels like we're gonna keep him here where he is a little bit longer before we start doing that. So I was like, I don't know how I feel about Pete Dunne winning over Trick, but then that's what I was thinking too. As Tony says, shocked that Dunne won clean. That's what I was thinking. I was not expecting anything like that. So that's the idea. I was torn about the winner too, but I guess we're gonna keep Trick a little bit longer, lingering here with Pete Dunne before he moves on again towards that championship. So
I loved everything about this match. I have none of the issues that Ashford had with this. I think Pete Dunne winning is an obvious choice because we're pushing Pete Dunne towards Sheamus on Raw. So Pete Dunne has to look strong. Pete Dunne has to look big. Meanwhile, with the attack for Trick Williams backstage, if we get the Sheamus Pete Dunne match Monday, like I think we're going to get, we can then beat Pete Dunne again on Tuesday with Trick Williams. And I think that gives us a nice little, point, point to point to point. I think that works out very well, where that pushes Trick. It might even be a number one contenders match come next week. If we get Pete Dunne versus Trick next week, it might be 2 weeks from now. But I think that match might be our number one contenders match for No Mercy. Because before we get to October in the CW, we still got to go through No Mercy in somewhere.
September 1st.
Yes, but I don't remember where. I know it's September 1st. I just don't remember where it's located.
Oh, what city? Okay.
Yeah. Because I wanted to say Bakersfield, California, but I know that was last year.
Yeah, I was going to say California doesn't. I don't know if it seems
California's not right. I think it's somewhere on the East Coast. I think it's like South Carolina or something.
I don't know. Let's see.
One of the things I really liked in this was the intensity that Trick got as Pete Dunne kept beating him down. I thought that was really, really cool. And that absolutely insane spot where Trick does that spinning kick out of the corner where he almost takes Pete Dunne's head off. Mm-hmm. Sensational. I thought this was one of Trick's best matches. I love this. And I'm glad Pete Dunne won. I think it's nice that Pete Dunne gets a win because a lot of these guys that come down don't always get treated well. So it was nice to see Pete Dunne get a win. No Mercy is in
Denver, Colorado.
Definitely not on the East Coast.
Not definitely. We're not where I was expecting it to be.
Yeah, no. If you'd given me 15 guesses, I never would have guessed Denver, Colorado. But you know what? Wesley and his friends are going to be riding very high in Denver. Or at least his friends will be, because his friends is probably still going to be in pain from the beating that Wesley gave him earlier tonight. We have an indoor cookout where everybody's... Yes, I am indeed not a geography wizard.
I'm not. I can tell you that. That's not my forte.
We have the indoor cookout, which really should have been done outside. Why it was done inside, I don't know. But everybody's...
Maybe the weather. Probably why.
You guys having bad weather down there?
I mean, we just had a storm yesterday that almost felt like, I wouldn't say a hurricane, but we had a storm, and then today was really hot afterwards. So it definitely would have been outside.
I was like, we've had nice days for 2 days, so I was like, I don't know what you're talking about. We've had wonderful weather. People are having fun, but they're complaining about the music, which proves us that Lexis King is running the DJ booth. And everybody's like, well, they were like, well, we tried to get Eddie Thorpe.
Eddie.
And for the rest of the segment, in case Mel is here, we'll leave this up. Eddie comes in trying to get to Lexis King. They separate them and say, no fighting. you guys are going to have to settle this, another way. We'll go talk to Ava. We find out later in the show that next week we're going to have another match between Lexis King and Eddie Thorpe. Eddie Thorpe, by the way, with nothing on his hand from his broken hand that Lexis King mentioned in passing during his part of the segment here. Then the segment went down, down, down. As Robert Stone and Stevie Turner get into a wing eating contest with Ava looking on. What you thinking, Chef Sean?
That was not cooking at all.
No, this was definitely not cooking, as the kids say. There was no Riz in this part of the segment.
Oh gosh, don't say that.
I have no idea what I just said. I think it was. I don't know. I watched a video today that was like teaching old people, young people slang, and I have no idea what I listen to. Like, I don't even understand the words they use to explain the new words. Because, like, I'm 2 generations behind. It's like there's a generation in between me and the new language. So, like, even the word they use to describe some of the words I didn't know.
Was this a TikTok or what video was it?
I don't know. I think it was on Instagram or TikTok or something. I don't know. I'm back with the Tiki Talk.
You should have sent it to me so I can translate it for you, see? That's the mistake you made.
When we say it, we sound like dinosaurs.
Wait, who's we? Who's we?
No. It's Tony and STG and I.
I was about to say, don't. It's a royal we because I'm half in there, but not entirely.
You're only half in there because of the fact that your sisters probably use this lingo and have taught you so you can actually have a conversation.
No, I know some of them.
Okay. What does Riz mean?
It's Riz from charisma.
Oh. That should be pretty easy to explain. Why did I not understand that?
You're welcome.
Okay. Anyways. Nathan Frazer wishes Ethan Page good luck in his championship match today. While Ethan Page is apparently somehow trying to get out of his title match because he has a 1-degree fever. And his body is a well-oiled machine, and 1 degree means something's wrong. Taylor says, "Why? Agreed. Why not just call it charisma?"
Because they try to put everything shorter now.
But why? Charisma's not a long word. It's relatively short.
I don't know. It's a texting thing, People like to shorten every single word so they don't have to text more. I don't know. Children, I don't do that.
I don't know. Ethan Page gets into it and says, "You know what? I wish you good luck with your match tonight, but you probably got a better chance of trying to find out where your tag team partner is tonight." To which Nathan goes, No, it'll be fine. Wait, where the fuck is Axiom?
That moment is the moment that I heard that and I went, oh no, they're losing, aren't they? I don't want to see this. And I was so scared.
Astrid's had a really rough week. First Damian loses the world championship. Then Damian's documentary premiered.
I haven't seen it yet.
No, I know, because I've told you about it, and you're very worried about watching it after I told you my reaction to it.
Yeah.
And then Damian and Rhea had a relatively decent night on Raw, which is good. And then Wes Lee and all this stuff, and your emotions are not in a good place right now.
I don't know what to do with myself.
He's not number 1, but he's really high up there. He's probably like 1A behind Zelina Vega.
No, my number 1's Rollins. That's my number 1.
That one I still don't get after the story I told you. But anyways.
No, number 1 is Rollins. So if I would 1A and 1B will be Damian most likely.
All right, remind me to tell you my Rollins story after we get off the air, because I've got one that'll change Mr. Lopez on you forever. She's like, no, I don't need to hear it. Yes, you do. We then had Tatum Paxley versus Kelani Jordan. This was okay.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't love this match. I really it's not a good story. It's not meant for the airwaves. It's
We'll put an OLE after dark. Is that what it's needed?
I don't even know if that is, because it involves a word that I never use because of what it means.
Oh.
Yeah. Anyways, I really liked. We used to have Ole After Dark. It used to be a thing on here, and it mostly involved two of our hosts getting both high and or drunk and talking about wrestling. We haven't had it in a while, and me and Bobby might have to bring it back at some point. We'll see. Back to Tatum versus Kelani. I'm trying to get this ship on track because Asher says I talk too much about other stuff. I didn't love Kelani's selling of the knee here. However, I did really like Tatum's work in this match.
Yeah. Tatum was definitely the MVP.
Yeah, Kelani did really good, but it seemed like she forgot that her leg hurt every couple of spots. Like, there are portions where she's running and then realizes her leg's supposed to hurt and fell down. And then there are periods where she does the top rope move, but falls down because her leg hurts. And then there's other times that she remembers her leg doesn't hurt, and she goes all the way up and does the whole, like, it was just... I call it Rollins selling. She did the Rollins sell, where he remembers briefly that he needs to sell the things that he needs to sell, but for 60% of the match, he forgets. No, I take a variety of notes. Some are more than others. Some matches have more in-depth notes than others. Most things are misspelled because I have fat fingers and I just don't bother retyping it. I don't have nearly the copious notes that the Honor Ramble team has.
Auntie has the prettiest notes I've ever seen. Mine are in caps. It feels like I'm yelling at myself. And I send it to you when I'm typing like that. I told it, I'm sorry if I'm typing in caps. I'm not yelling at you. I'm just letting you know. No, I do spell things correctly though, because that's me. I cannot do anything being misspelled. That's my thing. It bothers me. No, I do have those. It just depends on the matches though. Some matches may not have good notes, but some of them might be detailed.
These are my exact written notes for the Tatum versus Kelani match. Tatum versus Kelani, terrible trio watching while Astrid ekes behind. Kelani wins, good match. Tatum MVP. Wendy chokes out Tatum. So yes, Astrid was eking behind the terrible trio in the video that they showed us of them watching the thing. Because I couldn't, and again, it's mostly just simple, like, I hit the wrong letter next to the letter and I just don't bother correcting it.
I forgot what the terrible trio was, and it took me a moment to realize who you were talking about.
JC Jane, Fallon Henley.
Yeah. It took me a moment.
The Meltzers, all the Meltzers. Yeah, no, it was, there's nothing wrong with this match. It's fine. But Kelani's so hot and cold. And I don't know if it's the competition she's working with. Because Tatum was really good in this match. There's a lot of really fun and inventive things that Tatum does in this.
Yes, I was about to say that's something that I want to send Mel the clip of, because her finisher, I know it's, I don't want to say copied, but it's inspired, to put it like that. I think it's from somebody from Stardom, if I'm not mistaken. So seeing the way she's been wrestling ever since I saw her with a new finisher, it makes me feel like she's watching more of, like, you know, their style of, like, the way that girls in Stardom wrestle, because it's different from what we see here. And you can see because her style seems different from most of the other girls in NXT. But we've seen probably like an ounce of it, to put it like that. We haven't even seen it entirely. And I've seen not that one, but not only her finisher, but there's another move that she does that's been so different that I'm like, I think this is Stardom coded, is the way I think about it. And you can see that because at one point she did a submission and it made me think of that too. And the way she's just going about is just so different. And even towards the end there, when she just like, she's in the top rope about, and I think she did a 450. The way the crowd was so behind her when she pinned Kelani, and it was a 2, almost a 3. I thought she had it, like, right there and then. And I was thinking I would have given it to her right there based on that, because that was just amazing to see. And seeing the crowd reaction, I feel like that would have kept going if she had won. And as much as I like Kelani, I really want Tatum to get that championship sooner or later. And again, she was definitely my MVP in this match because I feel she did so great with everything she did here. At the end, I just felt like I would have done it a little bit longer to help it develop, but not too much longer. Like maybe 5 more minutes to help it develop a little bit more. Because it just felt like it felt kind of like abruptly ended, but not in a bad way. Like I'm not saying that they made a mistake or anything like that, but it's just the way it ended. I would have given a little bit more time because I feel like it needed it. And this is one of the few matches I will say that. And this is the one that definitely I would have added more time to if I could take out anything else during the card. This is the match I would have added the time to.
Yeah, the other thing that was weird is that they kept shooting this really awkward angle of Kelani on the top rope that I thought Wendy Chu was coming over to do something. And then they shoot Wendy, like, handing the doll to Tatum. And I'm like, oh, yay, new tag team, yay. Nope, Wendy just chokes a bitch, as she said on Twitter. Sometimes you just choke a bitch, is what Wendy said.
Why?
Ash, why would you do that, Astrid?
I mean, they would have been a great team. Like I wanted them to team at some point because I was enjoying them together. And then that happened. I went, well, and then Kelani just like that felt so awkward too because she chokes her out and it makes it seem like she almost disappears. And then Kelani just like leaning over the steel steps, like, oh, you're there. Okay. Goodbye.
Cool,
and then she just leaves. I'm like, why would you be there with the championship on your shoulder and just like staring at Wendy and not doing anything to help out Tatum? I'm like, you're the baby face.
Be the baby face. Yeah.
I felt so awkward.
She channeled her Carmelo baby face. Oh, look, somebody else is getting attacked? Not my problem.
Oopsie. I didn't see anything.
Wren walks in on the Candy Crew chatting about Kendal Gray. And Wren's like, so, where's Tavion? Is he? Did you guys throw him in the trunk too? They're like, no, he's in Japan with the N1. And he's like, yeah, he's in Japan. And Charlie's like, no, really, he's in Japan, lady. He's actually in Japan. Which, by the way, is where Tavion actually is. He's wrestling for, it's not Dragon's Gate. Is this All Japan, I believe?
I thought it was Noah, but I wasn't sure.
It could be Noah. It's one of the three. They work with all of them, so I'm not sure which one it is this week. I know AJ just recently worked with Noah and with the Marufuji stuff. So I wasn't sure if the N1 was another Noah thing. Either way, Tavion is over there with the group. Wren says, "Well, then can I be in the Candy Crew?" It is Noah. Okay, congratulations. Thank you for checking that. Wren says she wants to be in the Candy Crew, and Charlie says, "No, you're not going to be in the Candy Crew. You're not allowed." And Tony walks up. Tony and the family, not this D'Angelo family, but the other D'Angelo family, walks in and goes ahead and says, "You know what, Charlie? Well, how about we make this interesting? If Wren wins her match tonight, you let her in the Candy Crew, and I'll give you a match for the Heritage Cup." And Charlie looks at her, and he looks at Tony, and he grumbles as he accepts. And Wren goes, "What'd you say?" And Miles pipes up and goes, "Oh, you can't hear him either?" And I burst out laughing. I was lost. I don't know what the fuck else happened in this promo after Miles said you can't hear him either, because I was gone. So gone.
I was so concentrated, and the moment he said that, I broke and I lost it. I really did. I was like, no, I can't believe they're going with this. But it's so funny hearing it from him as well. I couldn't deal with it. They just summarized that part of like, oh, basically the cup match depends on her match, and then Oba like crosses in between all of them. And then I really thought he was gonna shove Nathan to the wall because he was so freaking close. I was waiting for the and then just leaving. And then when he did it, he just passed by him, and Nathan's calling Axiom like, "What the heck are you?" And he's like, "Well, when you were doing your thing, you were upset, so I figured you needed some space, so I gave it to you." And I was like, "I'm like, you're losing tonight, aren't you?" No.
All right, I got back for this part. I just wasn't sure if there were anything else that happened in the other side of the segment.
No,
like I remember Oba walking through. I remember the thing between Axiom and Nathan. Like I said, I was gone for a few seconds there when he said you can't hear again, the whole joke being that Miles Bourne is part deaf. So he legitimately can't hear on one side. So it's a running gag that he can't hear Charlie when he talks. Oh, poor baby Randy. Baby Randy's having a rough week. Rough couple weeks.
How about to say?
And it didn't get any better tonight. We then have Pete Dunne saying that he's at the top of his game, and if Trick Williams thought he was in line for a title shot, that means that Pete Dunne should definitely be in line for a title shot. And then Trick just out of nowhere comes running in and just attacks the hell out of Pete Dunne. And they get separated by referees. Hey, based on the match we saw earlier, Trick versus Pete Dunne 2, I'm in. That'd be a great TV match. I'm fine with that. It'd be either one of them would be a hell of a lot better than the match we get next. Astrid, talk to us about Ethan versus Oro Mensah.
You know, the first thing that came to my mind as this match kept happening was I missed this version of Oro Mensah. What happened to the Oro Mensah we got introduced to? Because this is the Oro Mensah I've been missing lately from RTV. Because Noam Dar has been the focal point of the guys of the metaphor. So to see him today getting that highlight in this match, and he was in control for I want to say 80% of the match, to not exaggerate. So I loved it. I love him being able to be the way he did. I did get scared when he slipped from the top rope towards the end there. I was like, oof, I'm scared for him. But I like the part that it takes the moment for them to be outside, for Ethan to do the Eagle's Edge on the table, for him to take that advantage towards basically more than second half of the match at this point. So it takes a while for him to get the control of the match later on. But again, it's I feel like Oro was the MVP in this match. I feel like I needed him to be able to show off the way he did tonight and to have him be the way he did. I just love the way he performed. And I wish you could see this more often at this point, because that's the Oro Mensah I enjoyed from when he started and when he got those profile video packages that we got from him. And then all of a sudden he went to Metaphor and we didn't see much from him wrestling. So it's nice to see this happening now. I hope they keep kind of the momentum going with him a little bit moving forward.
Yeah, I thought this was a really good match. I think Ego did a really good job making Oro Mensah feel like a big deal. I think a lot of what made Oro Mensah look good was the skill and the years of experience that Ego has, that Ethan Page has. I'm with Tony here. I'm starting to fall in love with this theme song. I know it's not Ego, but it's
catchy.
It's catchy. It's starting to catch on, and I don't want to like it because it's Def Rebel bullshit, but I like it. It's not bad. Great interview with Ethan Page this morning on one of the radio stations. I believe it's Mark Moses. I saw it on Twitter. Ethan talking about how he's so excited to be one of the first guys to bring everything that is him to NXT. Because so many people get changed and get, look at somebody like Taya Valkyrie. They change her to Frankie Monet, instantly lose all the credibility, instantly lose everything about her. But Ethan Page comes in. He's all ego. Ethan Page, the logos, the look, everything about him is everything he's always been. And it's just so nice to see them understanding when somebody just needs to be who they are. And of course, I don't think Nails from NY would ever have accepted Ethan Page in any other form. Because she is the number one egomaniac on my Twitter page. I don't know about everybody else's, but she's certainly the number one on mine. Yeah. So every time we have an ego title match, I keep checking the page to see what she's thinking about these matches. I'm not in denial. I Def Rebel makes really shit music, and every now and then they come across a banger. They ruined Roman's theme. All the extra bullshit they added to Roman's new theme is just awful. And it got us demonetized. It got us blocked on YouTube too.
Plus, think about it this way. Yeah, I'm the thing I don't like about them is I like the one for Ethan, don't get me wrong. But for example, I wouldn't want the theme to go ego and that's it. And then you hear the ego and it's him. You know, it's like they give you little clues as to who it is based on what happens, like the Bailey role model. Don't do that. Don't tell me who it is like that. It should be that the theme song should be enough for me to go, oh, this is Bailey, without having to hear the role model part. And there's so many like theme songs that they just say somebody's name or the nickname or whatever it is before they even come out. It's like Tiffany has like Stiffy time. Don't like the one that she had for NXT was better.
Jose, the NXT one's better, but don't get me wrong. I love hearing it's Tiffy time at the beginning.
I do
of the song.
too, but they do that with every single song though. They kind of introduce it to who it is by like having a voiceover before the music starts, and I'm like, really? I should be able to like know who it is. Like if I hear Randy, I hear voices in my head. It doesn't tell you it's Randy Orton, but you know it's Randy because you heard it so many times.
It's more than one royal family. Professional wrestling.
Yeah.
I'm showing my age by saying this, but I wish they wouldn't play theme songs.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't like it when somebody runs out and they play the theme song.
No, I feel like it kind of warns the person though that somebody's coming if you think about it that way. So I don't like it.
Absolutely. And plus, if you do it with Jeff Hardy, he's going to dance on his way to the ring while his brother gets beat up in the middle of the ring.
Hey, it gets you talking about it, doesn't it?
No, it makes me make fun of Jeff Hardy, which honestly, there's plenty more other things I can make fun of Jeff Hardy for. If we're talking theme songs, Jeff Hardy's TNA theme, the one that he created with his band, that thing's an awful piece of garbage. I'm old school with just a natural surprise. I agree. If somebody's running out, they should not have theme music.
No.
We get an MSK interview, or the Rascals, or however you want to put it. Wes talks about how this moment is the best feeling moment in his career. Really, Wes? The best of your career, huh? I did tweet out after this, Wesley interviews just don't hit the same without Mackenzie Mitchell.
They really don't.
No offense to Kelly Kincaid. Love Kelly Kincaid. She's done great work as Quinn McKay in Ring of Honor. She's doing good work here. But there's something special about Wesley and Mackenzie Mitchell.
Yeah.
Yeah, poor Ashford is indeed losing it. And it's only going to get worse.
Yeah.
We then get another part with the barbecue where the girls are looking and eyeing up. It's Jada and question marks. Who was the girl?
No, Brinley was one of them.
Is that Brinley? I honestly couldn't tell. The one sitting with Jada when they were talking about Dion Lennox? Yep, couldn't tell.
Yeah, she was sitting her left.
Yeah. No, I know. It was blonde number 15. But I didn't know who blonde number 15 was for the life of me. I literally put question marks in my notes. And then I put, while question mark is eyeing up Dion Lennox, Jada and Lola argue about who's next to take on Kelani.
Mm-hmm.
And then random bro gets beat up for being an asshole and gets triple power bombed by Sol Ruka, Lola Vice, and Jada.
I'm not ready for him when he comes to TV. I really am not.
He's already on TV, by the way, just so we're
clear. I know, but I mean like permanently, to put it like that. No.
So this is random dumbass bro from Next Gen, right? He's one of the Next Gen people.
Yeah.
So this is the same guy. For those that can remember this, he's the same one that said something about Natalia and Carmen one week as they were walking by and got beat up by Carmen. Mm-hmm. This is the same guy, random gym bro.
He's had a little, I don't want to say Twitter beef, but like a back and forth with Chelsea at one point too. Yeah, not my cup of tea.
You know what, Sean? I'm going to talk directly to you now. So, and actually, I know it looks like I'm looking at you, but I'm looking at Sean. Sean, I know that you think this used to be funny when you used to do it back in the day, and back in the day it was okay. People accepted this, but this isn't okay anymore. It's 2024. You gotta get with the times. This guy's not allowed on TV. Stop making Jim Bro try to think like he's cool. I know you think it's a good idea, Sean, but it's not. It's not getting him over. And it's going to give him X-Pac heat. You remember X-Pac? You were friends with X-Pac. Don't give this kid X-Pac heat before his career begins. Be better than this, Sean. Be better than this. Although I did love seeing the girls powerbomb him through the table.
Yes, I love that part.
3 girls who have nothing to do with each other powerbombing random asshole gym bro through a table.
Yeah.
Definitely worth it. We then have in my notes Joe versus Joe. Hendry takes on Joe Coffey. Man, Hendry is really over with the crowd. Like,
did you hear that the theme song tonight?
They
That
sang
was so
the
freaking
entire
loud.
theme.
Yes.
Everybody's doing the hand waves.
Everything.
Everything. He has got this crowd in the palm of his hand.
Yes.
By the way, if people think that TNA made a mistake working with WWE, this might be the one they made. Because Joe Hendry's never going back to TNA if WWE can help it. Joe Hendry has even himself said that he's got a special deal than all the other TNA talent, that he's able to train at the Performance Center right now during this TNA partnership.
Welcome home, Joe Hendry. We're going to see you here more often. Welcome. Welcome.
Joe, we hope you're enjoying your vacation here. Just remember in 6 months to sign your contract and come here permanently. When you come here permanently, there's going to be a very big pay raise in it for you. Because unlike the hot dogs and peanuts that you make working for TNA, you're going to make real money working here at NXT.
Oh my
God. A little bit
God.
less on the merchandise end, but it'll be okay. Trust me, at the rate you move merch, it'll be fine. Astrid, I think if there's no other better time than...
And I mean, folks, where's the lie?
I wish I could see you mouthing it. Yes. No, I hate to agree with you on that, but yes.
I mean, do you really?
It's damn
do you
true.
not? It is. It's absolutely. It's Kurt Angle true. And by the way, would people prefer to see Astrid and I react live to the first episode on the CW, or would you prefer a typical taking over that happens after the show with a full recap?
Watch how long. Watch how long. Watch how long. Well, comment down
Astrid
below. Let us know. Let us know.
Yeah.
Please
And
comment down
make sure
below.
Comment down below in the YouTube video. I know some of you watch on Twitch. Find the YouTube video. If you want to know where you can find it right here at our local establishment, our Ole podcast on YouTube.
Watch along or post show. Let us know. I vote watch along because it's a special night.
Plus, Astrid knows I hate doing watch along, so she wants to do a watch along.
Yes.
Joe Coffey versus Joe Hendry. What do you think of the match itself?
I missed some of this, to be honest, but from what I saw, at least it looked fun.
Yeah,
and
when you asked me what Joe Hendry's promo was after the show afterwards, I realized you missed a lot of this.
But my favorite part was, and he tweeted about it. Let me see if I can find it real quick. Is that as soon as the music ended, he jumped and he dived onto Gallus outside. And he said, there will be one Joe Hendry dive each decade. See you again in 10 years. I love starting off with that. Like, when I saw him jump, I was like, where the heck is he going? And then I noticed Gallus, and I was like, oh, that doesn't happen. He took me by surprise. Like, even starting off with that.
You missed the best Gallus moment, though. Because later in the match, he pulls in Eddie Guerrero. He's outside with Gallus, and they're trying to get him. They pull him out under the ropes, and he goes ahead and fights off Wolfgang, and he fights off Mark, and he tucks Mark underneath the ring apron, and he goes and grabs a chair, and instead of using it, he throws it to Wolfgang, and then jumps on the table, but he jumps on that the protective portion of the table.
Mm-hmm.
So it makes a loud sound. So the referee turns around from dealing with Joe Coffey to see Mark Coffey holding the chair, and Gallus gets kicked out, which leads to Joe Hendry hitting. So, okay, I don't watch enough TNA lately. Is his finisher called the standing ovation?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Because he's like, he hits him and he's got a standing ovation, and I'm like, Well, yeah, it's Joe fucking Hendry, Vic. Of course it's a standing ovation. He just won. Like, what the fuck's wrong with Vic? Vic's not normally this stupid.
Sorry. That one really got me. Oh my god.
Yeah, so I was very confused as to why Vic brought up the word standing ovation. And then I realized, hey, I think maybe that might be Joe's finisher.
Oh my god, you made me cry.
Hey, I did what Mark and all the people from LA couldn't do during the interview. I made you cry.
Oh my god.
He also cuts a promo afterwards saying that he's going to be here for a long time. And if anybody in the back has an issue with it, they can go ahead and meet him here next week. And don't worry, you won't even have to say his name, and he will appear.
Yay.
Joe Hendry back next week. Yay. Good job, Sean. Good job.
Oh my god.
You're right over there?
Oh, jeez.
We go to the Chase U classroom. We found out that Ridge bought them a new classroom. I'm going to assume this is with the merch money for the new shirt. By the way, Chase is still the only one not wearing the new shirt.
It's very sus. Very sus. Do you know what that one means?
Yes, I don't. I know what sus means. I've watched people. The only reason why I know that one is because I watched people play Among Us during pandemic.
Yeah.
Thea and Duke are both very, very bummed. And Riley tries to pump them up saying, hey, you guys were both really great. Thea, you should get another shot. This was one of the best women's matches in a while. And Thea's like, you think? And then Rich comes in and he's like, hey, I pulled my last strings with Ava. By the way, what strings does fucking Ridge Holland have with Ava? Why does he have strings to pull with Ava?
I was wondering that too, because it's the second I think time that he says that he came from Ava's office with like, oh, I told Ava this and that, and then it's happening. I'm like,
yeah.
Why you though? Why? That's very sus.
Very sus. But Ridge has pulled his last shots, and Chase U will get a tag team title match against the winners of the main event tonight. And Duke's excited. And Duke's like, yeah. No, hold on. Duke's all excited. He's like, yeah, me and Andre Chase are going to go ahead and get the tag team titles. And Ridge is like, oh, Duke, I should have been a little bit more specific. When I meant Chase U, I meant me, Ridge Holland, and Mr. Chase are going to go for the tag team titles.
And that's when you go, dun dun.
Duke's going to turn heel next week. Talk about long-term heel turns we've been seeing for a year and a half before happening. Fucking Duke's finally going to turn on Chase U. This is a good segment, though. I actually kind of like Ridge more and more every week as they go on. By the way, I am working on a sponsorship involving Ridge Holland. So watch out for that space, people, because there might be some fun stuff to do with Chase U and Ridge Holland in the near future. Brooks is backstage at the party, and he's going to go ahead and get himself a beer. And Sean Spears comes up, or as I have written in my notes, he, because I couldn't think of the name Sean Spears when I was writing it in my notes. And he says, no, look, listen to me. I use my influence to go ahead and get Ava to bring you back. You can't be doing this. He's like, why? What does it matter to me? I don't give a damn what you used. You don't control me. And he's like, no, I don't control you. But you owe me at least listening to me, give me a chance to get a piece of your mind. Be open-minded to what I'm telling you. And if you're open-minded to what I'm telling you, you won't need this. And he takes the drink and puts it out of his hand, and they walk away. Roxanne Perez, meanwhile, goes ahead and walks through this segment and says, oh, look, woman I haven't fought before, and walks away. It
was Carlee was one of them.
Yeah.
I forgot who the one on her right was. And there was somebody else. Oh, no, wait, Carlee and Brinley was there too, was the other one. But there was one on Carlee's right that I didn't recognize.
None of these matter because essentially it just gives Robert Stone an idea while he's almost face down like he's drunk. He decides that we're going to have a multi-woman match between all the people who have never faced Roxanne Perez before.
Cue Battle Royal.
We're getting Vakor! We're finally going to get Vakor!
I don't know. I was torn about it because I thought that too. But at the same time, I was thinking, do they want to do this? Because we still have a little bit for No Mercy, and probably a month at this point. So I was like, why would you do that now? I'm like, I was thinking, unless it's Stephanie. I'm like, if it's not Stephanie, then why would you do all these girls that never had an opportunity before all of a sudden? I was like, I wouldn't.
We have 3 more NXTs until
So,
No Mercy. So we got to build this
I hope
match.
it
We
is
got to build it
Stephanie.
now. I think it's Stephanie Vicor wins this. I think she's going to be unannounced. It's just going to be like a battle royal multi-woman match. You know, first to get a pinfall or submission wins. And I think it's going to be Stephanie Vicor.
Yeah, we need that star power. The big 3 that are coming.
Depending on the week that it happens, it could be Julia. If this takes a week or 2 to build, next week is the 13th. That's right around the time that Julia's done with her last show in Marigold, which means by the 20th, if this match takes 2 weeks to get to, on the 20th, it could be both Stephanie Vicor and Julia in that match. And if we have a finish like I think we might have, where they both get eliminated at the last second by each other, the triple threat at No Mercy between Roxanne, Stephanie, and Julia. Chef Sean, make it happen.
Yes.
Then the Good Brothers come and the fight starts because they complain about food or some bullshit. I stopped listening. It was the Good Brothers.
Yeah.
We get Wren Sinclair versus Kendal Gray. God, Kendal Gray is really good. She really is really good. Like, this is a Wren Sinclair match through and through. And Wren Sinclair does a very good job leading her through this match. Wren Sinclair is very talented in this ring, especially with her submissions. That's the thing I noticed about Wren Sinclair tonight that I didn't know before, is these submissions she's fantastic with.
Yeah.
The way she was transitioning from one to the other at one point.
It was very smooth.
Really clean. But Kendal Gray making it easy for her body to bend in the ways that she needed. And that flip out onto the pin out of the bow and arrow type move. Oh, fantastic. I love this. Yeah. Kendal at one point gets on the outside and little Randy tries to get involved and she scares him away. And then he gets up on the apron and Wren Sinclair gets the better of him. And then Kendal almost pins her and Charlie reaches in and stops, and he doesn't cheat. He wants her to earn it. He was thinking if she wins, I get my match. But he's also thinking if she's going to be part of my group, she's going to earn this. Wren gets out, and she gets very angry. Power of the punch like Charlie's dad would have done. Knocks Wren Sinclair down. 1, 2, knocks down Kendal. 1, 2, 3. Wren Sinclair wins clean.
Yep.
And Charlie Dempsey versus Tony D'Angelo. This is the best women's match of the night.
And to be ironic with this match, though, I think this one had good timing because being that I don't want to say at least Kendal doesn't have a lot of experience. Wren has a little bit more than Kendal. But at the same time, Kendal, you're like easing her into this. So it's good that she has like shorter matches to start with. And like you said, Wren was leading this, doing very well with the leading of it, and the way they went from like, is it the head scissors? I always kept like with the submission that she did, and then they reversed and went to the other side to do a little. I was like, that looked very smooth too. And the way that Wren was taking charge of this match, it was so fun. I really enjoyed it, and I feel like it had good timing. And like you said, I kept looking, and then Charlie coming in, he's like, no, I'm not gonna help her. I'm gonna have her do it on her own. And I love that part of it because, like you said, it's like, she's gonna earn it. She's gonna earn her spot here, even though technically my title match is on the line because of her. So it was nice to see that at the end. I like how she wants to do the pose with him, and then Mouse is like, "Yeah, I'm gonna do it with you," and Charlie's like, "Sure." It's like it's something that I was not expecting because thinking of like Wren with them, they don't match. But then seeing how she brings out a different side of Charlie, because Charlie's not a funny guy. Charlie's very serious. And she brings this like goofy side of him that works so well with him that I never thought I would like. Like I never thought I would like him being goofy. And then now him being like this, like doing the sign and the hand sign the way he did it, I was like, I like this. Why do I like this? But I do. But it was fun to watch this, and I feel like it was a good introduction to her with the team. I imagine probably No Mercy is gonna end up being that like multi-person match between both of the groups at the end.
The thing I really liked about all of this is there's a chemistry, like you said. They bring each other out of Wren, Sinclair, and Charlie. There's this great chemistry between the two of them. And Charlie, like his dad, has this wry smile when somebody gets the better of him in a verbal exchange. And Wren Sinclair is the one person who seems to get him from him every week, where all of a sudden you'll just see Charlie try to hold back from breaking, trying to hold that stiff upper lip, as you might call it with the Brits. I thought this was great. I love this. This is my second favorite women's match of the entire weeks, of the entire Great American Bash. It's slightly below Roxanne and Thea, and only slightly below that, because Roxanne and Thea was a fantastic women's match. Great main event for that show. But I thought that the submission transitions were better here than they were in Roxanne versus Thea last week. I think that's just because I think Thea and Roxanne don't have quite the chemistry that Kendal has with Wren Sinclair. Oh boy. Javon Evans. Oh, Javon
I was
Evans.
waiting for this. This is
Now-
exactly like the one from last time. Why?
No. This is very different than the one from last time.
I didn't like it.
Oh, I didn't like it either, but it's very different.
Yeah, but I just didn't like it. That's what makes you think of like it felt like last time.
He spends almost the entire interview geeking out about the fact that Matt Bloom is his teacher at the PC. And as he says it, and this fucking dates him, me, and makes me feel old as fucking dirt. He geeks out about knowing him as Lord Tenzai. I remember A-Train's debut. The hairy back, the fact that he had to name Prince Albert in kayfabe because he had a pierced you-know-what. Yeah, the fact that he's geeking out over Lord Tensai that he met as a child, and he asked him how he gets rid of all the tattoos on his face. Oh God. Why was half this fucking interview about Lord Tensai? If I don't get fucking Matt Bloom versus Javon Evans out of this, I'm gonna be pissed.
But you know what I didn't like about it too? It just like it felt like similar-ish, aside from that part, to what we had before. And it's like the point of like I didn't like the first one. So what we continue on with this trend of continue with this is like if when they say superstar profile, I was hoping it would be somebody else. But then it's like, no, Javon and everything. It's like, no. And then dude is here, 19, that just freshly turned 20 in April, as he said. And he's promoting people not to go to school. That is something I would say no. And this is me being me because that's the way I was raised. But you know how many kids are watching NXT and how many kids you are their role models and you're basically telling them, don't go to college, it's fine.
What the fuck?
I was like, well, that didn't work out for you, but it may not work out for other people. So it's like, it doesn't work out the same way for everybody else. And once he said that on, he's like, oh, I had teachers telling me to get a backup plan. And I said no because wrestling was the thing. It's like, yeah, because you made it. Some people don't. So they do need a backup plan. So I wouldn't say don't say no to a backup plan. And like I said, this is just me being me. I just didn't like that part.
Javon Evans, look at Joe Hendry. Look at LA Knight. Look at Joe Coffey. Look at Ethan Page. Do you know how long these motherfuckers had to work to get to the spot they're in? Yes, you're there at 19, 20. Good for you. The part that pissed me off even more than that, because I almost could forgive him for that. Because he's like, yeah, for me, that's not right, yada, yada. Like, he plays it off. Where are you going to be in 10 years? Well, I mean, I don't know. Like, I'm only 20 years old. I'm just figuring out. Yeah, no shit, you're just figuring out who you are. Have fucking goals, kid. I want to be world champion in WWE. I want to be in the spot that Cody Rhodes is in. I want to be in the spot that I want to be in the spot that Braun Breaker's in. I don't know. Pick somebody on the main roster. Be like, I want to be them in 10 years. You fucking asshole. Oh my God. This made me hate Javon Evans. I didn't think it was possible. I like
and
Javon
it felt
Evans.
like it made him more not relatable.
Yeah.
Because I feel like being a kid that's like 19, 20 years old, you're thinking, I was like, oh, he's a huge fan of wrestling, hence why he's here. I can relate to that. But then while hearing this, I'm like, I don't like this background story at all. I really don't. This is one of the few times I will say I don't like this background story, the way it's played out. At this interview, I would have given it to somebody else. I wouldn't have given him this like profile at all this way.
Who's the guy that's Billy Starks' friend who's fucking stuck on Level Up?
Oh, Uriah.
That's the one. Why not him?
Finlay, yeah.
Yeah, he's a fucking Finlay. Why do we not have him out here? Why are we not
Uriah
promoting him?
Connors.
Yeah, that's the one. I only remember because Billy's mom tweeted about him the other day.
Told you.
And then there was an NXT Anonymous from Level Up the other day.
Yeah.
And people were like, wait, you're on Level Up? And the NXT Anonymous guy was like, yeah, we're everywhere. I didn't know because I don't watch Level Up, but apparently he's got like something going on Level Up. And I'm like, I want to see him on TV. Like, I'm done with Javon Evans. I'm done. Like, I don't care about Javon Evans now. Cool, he's bouncy, whatever.
No, and I don't want to say big deal, but like they mentioned like the way that Uriah signed and everything. And once he changed his name, that was something big because he started saying, oh, I'm done with my dates. And then came the speculation that he signed the way it happened with like Delta, for example. So it's like, you have a Finlay there and you don't take advantage of that. Why?
Like, I get not calling him Finlay. Like, we have Charlie Dempsey, and we're doing the same thing. He's not a Regal because he wants to make his own name for himself. And yeah, we'll tongue-in-cheek it with William Regal coming out and playing up because the crowd knows, and the crowd will chant, he's your daddy, things like that. But, like, we get it. Like, if you know, you know. And if you don't know, it's fine.
We're not in The Rock.
Yeah, even The Rock. Like, they do the little teases, but they don't make it obvious.
Yep.
And it's like, what's holding Uriah Connors back that's not holding Javon Evans back? Because I have to know, because you've made me hate Javon Evans in 2 weeks. When Javon Evans had that match at Heatwave, we talked about how he's an instant star.
Yep.
How there's nothing that can hurt him. He's ready to go. In 2 weeks, they've killed him, as far as I'm concerned. I could care less about him now after 2 weeks. And it's not like he's not bad at the promos. It's just poorly edited promos. Where he's like, oh, can we take this out? Like, all this shit like that in a promo package. Like,
I would have put a footage of him from the indies and saying how, and like from him, a child, saying this was my dream. And the way that we have like a Rollins with the fake championship in his hands for his video packages, like that kind of thing, from like showing it how it was a dream to now it becoming a reality. Because like I said, it doesn't happen often for a lot of people, especially at his age. I would have done that rather than make him look like almost like a dummy of what it feels like, by promoting of like not going to school whatsoever. So it's like I would have done something like that, of like showing how it became a dream. And he's like, oh, I used to watch Lord Tensai when I was, this age on my CV, and now he's my coach. Like, that's a little bit different. I would have taken out the school part, and the Lord Tensai part would have kept it, because that makes it funny. Because like you said, not only does it age him, but the fact that he's like, I went from seeing him on my TV to seeing him in person. A lot of people don't get that experience. So I feel like I would have liked to see that.
Yeah, the talent is great. Hi, Brett. Hello. Nice to see you. I don't know if you just finished streaming or if you're about to start streaming. If you don't, I'm going to go ahead and throw it in the Our Local Establishment one. But go ahead and give Brett a shout on Twitter. And go ahead and follow him on Twitter and on Twitch. Big fan, especially the TNA. He's a big TNA fan. So maybe during one of these, if we have that big crossover, it might be a show we get Brett on, talk about it, because Brett's a good person. Oh, no, we're okay. We do our best. Astrid is the icon. She is indeed the queen of Olay.
Oh god.
Let me go ahead and Astrid, while you go ahead and talk about Obafemi in the parking lot, I'm going to go ahead and give a shout out to Brett.
But Obafemi survived the parking lot. Woohoo! I mean, it doesn't happen often. But I thought it was funny in this aspect because he's starting his interview and he said, "Oh yeah, next week I'm gonna get somebody," and they try to get him to say who his somebody is for his opponent, and he's like, "It'll be whoever wants to step up to me." So we're living in a mystery, which I'm like, somebody from TNA.
I'm cool with that.
I have a feeling I might know.
With who is backstage tonight? I have an idea.
Yeah, one. Are you gonna say it at three? One, two,
three. Josh Alexander.
Yes.
Yeah.
I figured. So I like that part, but at the same time, it's just funny seeing Tony come in and just barge in, just like, so the NXT Cup match next week, it'll be me versus Carlee, and I'm like, damn, you caught him up by me like that in the parking lot, you brave soul. You are a brave soul. I'm gonna tell you that.
That parking lot is the most dangerous place in all of professional wrestling, and you just cut off Obafemi. Oh boy. I thought Obafemi was gonna make poor Stacks go through the fucking car. I thought Miss NXT was gonna have a lot more to do other than posing for photos on her bed this week. And if you don't know what I'm talking about, just look up Ari Grace's Twitter. It's not as weird as it sounds. Just look at her Twitter, you'll understand. But no, yeah, that's 2 matches that are confirmed for next week, and then this goes right into Vic telling us what we're getting next week, which is a monster show. Obafemi is defending the North American Championship next week against somebody.
Josh. It has to be Josh.
Don't manage expectations. Charlie versus Tony D'Angelo for the Heritage Cup.
Mm-hmm.
Lexus versus Eddie. So Mel will be happy because we'll be talking about Eddie Thorpe.
Mm-hmm.
So that's always going to be happy. And then Chase U is going to go for the tag team titles against the winners of the main event, Axiom. And speaking of that, we're to our main event. Astrid, do you want to recap the main event for us?
Oh my gosh. I don't know if I have the feels. What can I say? This match is just the reason why it shows why MXK belongs in NXT. Like, this was one of the matches that was just amazing. Let me finish, sir. Let me have my moment here before I cry again.
Okay, Taylor.
No, it's like they have such an amazing chemistry, both of the teams, which I just love to watch. And I wouldn't mind watching it again and again and again because they're just so great together. I love that there was moments towards the end there was a miscommunication at one point between Axiom, and I was so freaking scared when that happened. And then there was, I think, at 2 different occasions when Wes was about to get pinned, and I could see Zachary trying to get in there to like break up the pin, and then Wes would kick out. So he's like, "Oh, we're safe," and he could like take a moment to like breathe. But after Axiom just retains, we get the Rascals just hugging. And the angle first, because it's Wesley, and then the guys are both of his shoulders. With the ankle there, I kept thinking, are they going to turn on him? Because it will be like that 2 against 1, and that'll be their exit from the story in itself. So I was waiting for both of them to turn on him. So I was watching it like this, like a little nervous. And then Trey distanced himself from Wes a little bit, and he starts crying. And I was like, that he feels a little bit too emotional for me. Like, it's too real. Like, this is ending somehow. But I want to know how it's ending. And I was not expecting it to be right there and then. And then we get that kick heard around the freaking world when Wesley turned on Trey. And the moment he just slips out of the ring and just leaves. And then Zachary's like, but what the hell? That's your brother. And I was expecting him to turn on Trey at that moment too. Like, I was waiting for something else to happen there. And then the moment we have the back and forth here. And if you notice there, Trey doesn't get too much time. Hello, Eric. So having that moment there, and even him just like going and doing the steel steps towards Zachary too, and the chants in the crowd like he's an asshole. I like everything is like this moment. At the same time, I was not expecting it, but I understand it, if that makes sense, because I keep thinking, I feel like he needed this. He needed like a reset for him especially after not winning the championship. It's like he's not gonna go for the North American title anytime soon because of Obafemi being champion still. So it's like, so what do we have going on for him? And I feel like he needed a little something to, to get our attention, to get people going, and to see this happening. I was like, damn it, I would have done it this way, because then obviously we cannot get him to go back to TNA and team up with them when he turned on them in NXT now because of the back and forth we got going on. So it made it bittersweet because I'm thinking it's a good highlight for him, but at the same time, it just bums me out that we won't see the Rascals teaming up on TNA any longer after this. Not anytime soon, at least. But no, it makes me sad. No, it definitely was a big shocker. And what a way to end NXT on week 2 of Great American Bash. It's just they got me. They really did.
We did have Brett coming in saying Wesley turning almost made me sob. Zachary Wentz is my husband, even though he doesn't know it. And I was no, so our good friend Kyle K. Sparks mentioned on Twitter that this seems because he doesn't watch NXT week in, week out, this seems unusual, and he wanted an explanation. This has been brewing since Carmelo Hayes was NXT champion. That's how long this tail turn has been brewing. Because when Wesley lost his second match to Carmelo and went away, we thought he was going to come back as a heel. Because he was throwing everything of his in the garbage and he was leaving with his girlfriend. And I'm like, oh, okay, cool. He comes back as a heel. That'll be great. And then he came back as a babyface. And I was like, that don't make sense. And then he did the crying promo in the ring because he lost his championship. And I'm like, all right, makes sense. So now he has to come back as a babyface now. And then he lost to Obafemi. And I'm like, cool, now we get the heel turn. He's like, I got to do something different. I don't know what I got to do, but I got to figure something out. I'm like, heel turn, heel turn, heel turn. Because Wesley can be such a great heel. He has everything in him to be a dickhead. How do I know this? Because he's a rascal, and he's been a dickhead for 5 years. So obviously he can be a dickhead. So not a stretch for him to be more of a dickhead. Got it. I am so excited to see how he changes his attitude, his in-ring stuff. And more importantly, it's not just that he lost another championship opportunity. It's that this was a championship opportunity with Zach. This was an opportunity with the guy who got him to NXT, his brother. And then, like Wesley said, as he was beating down Zach and while he was beating down Trey, you left me alone. You left me by myself. You fucked up and you got fired because of your mouthy ex-girlfriend. And you got fired and left me by myself. And I had to figure out who I was all over again. And the moment I figure it out, and the moment I have it all under control, now you come back and want me to go back to who I used to be. I'm not that guy anymore. I'm somebody different. And this is the exact promo we're going to get from him next week. This is going to be, it's not going to be a you people promo. It's going to be a you guys promo led directly at Trey Miguel and more importantly at Zach Wentz.
Yep.
It's going to be fantastic. Where does he go next is a really good question though. Because there's no babyface champions for him to take on. So the only thing I can think of is he's going to try to get himself inserted into this number one contenders picture with Trick Williams, with him. Because I think ego could go either way if necessary. I think you could do heel versus heel with ego. With especially with Wes. I think that would work. I think you can get this audience to do exactly what you want in a situation like that. But more importantly, I think that he's going to be a very good piece to work beside Joe Hendry going into Chicago. Because I said it before, and I'll continue to say it because all the pieces are lining up for this. Joe Hendry is going to win the NXT championship on the CW show number 1 in Chicago at the Allstate Arena. That's going to be the big crowning moment of that show. We're going to open with CM Punk. We're going to open with Roxanne Perez. CM Punk, probably Cora Jade returns that night too, by the way. And I think we might even get Mother. I think AJ may make that show too. Could you imagine if she walks out, if Light It Up hits in front of a Chicago crowd? They're going to lose their ever-loving mind.
Even I will lose my mind.
Yeah, Asher will not be doing that show that night. I will have to find a last-minute replacement because Asher will be... Wait, hold on. Do we have it? Oh, hold on. I'm going to have to switch brands for 1 second, guys. Give me a second. We are now on our ramble. I'll be like here. Asher will be here.
Yes.
All right, we're back to taking over.
I mean, between Joe Hendry winning and Mother being there.
No, I'm far less certain that Mother's going to be there than I am that Joe Hendry winning the NXT.
I know. Yeah.
Because there are so many reasons for her to do it, and there are 1,001 more reasons not to do it. Most importantly, is she doesn't want to do it. But God, there's a few matches that kind of need to happen.
I know, mother versus daughters. Come on.
No. Well, I mean, yes, Roxanne is one of them. We're not wasting one of her matches on Cora.
Oh, at least Roxanne.
Roxanne, yes. We give Roxanne. But I also want, if I can have my pick, there are 3 more I want after that. I want AJ Lee versus Bayley.
Yes.
I
want AJ daughters.
Well, yes, I understand. I thought you were trying to throw Cora Jade in there. I'm like, no, we're not wasting AJ Lee on Cora Jade.
No.
I want AJ Lee versus Charlotte. 2 defining women's wrestlers of their era. Because as much as people want to make it that Nikki Bella was the one who ran the Divas division, let's not forget about all the hard work that AJ Lee put in to make that.
AJ was that foundation there.
Yes. AJ was the one who made that Divas division serviceable. And there's a third one. And as part of the TNA partnership, I want AJ versus Jordan Grace. I think Big versus Little, Big Mama Pump versus Itty Bitty or AJ Lee, I think could be a really fun story to tell. It's the most off the wall of the 3. It's the one where people will go, why? And I'm like, because why not? But yeah, no, I think Jordan Grace would be another fun one. But no, Bayley, Roxanne, and Charlotte are absolutely, like I said, I don't want a long run from AJ. Give me 1 year. Give me 3 big shows, 1 year, short in, short out. Give her all the money in the world. Matt, whatever you're paying Punk, pay her. Just pay her whatever you're paying Punk. She can take a year off of writing her comic book. She can take a year off of her public speaking. She can take a year off of her book writing. Come in, work a few matches, and then go back into retirement where she belongs. Where she's happy. And the reason why she belongs there is because she's happy there. Not because she's not good enough. I'm sure she could tear it up with all these girls at the top of the card. I'm just saying she's happy being retired, so she should go back to being retired. The same thing with Becky Lynch. Best to you on your future endeavors, Becky. I know you're not retired, but I'm really hoping you are. So stay home and be Mama Naru. Bye-bye. Astrid, what do you got coming up this week?
I'm trying to think what this week is. Jeez.
This week is the 6th.
I don't think I have anything going on this week aside from that.
Showcase?
Hopefully we'll figure that out later. We'll see. But I want to get inspired with some writing that I started, so hopefully I'll finish that up soon. Yes, STG. I've been telling him that exactly. Ed drinking a gallon of that hatery for Becky Lynch. Yes. No comments. No comment. No comment. That's my moment. Shh, shh, shh. Okay, thanks. But yes, I agree. Yes, yeah, you can keep yourself muted. Thank you very much. Uh, I posted earlier. I am on my road to the 500 subs. I'm almost at 300. So if you have, please get me there on YouTube. Subscribe, hit that bell to be notified when I upload or go live. You can find me on Twitter and Blue Skies, astridpizarro, and then Instagram and Threads, astridpizarro20. And then tomorrow you get this uploaded on my YouTube. So like we said, comment down below. Let us know. Do you want to watch along? That we get a regular post show for the premiere, because I think a watch along will be better with everything that's going to be happening that day. So we'll see. No, you do the voiceover for that one. You're better at it.
If you want to go ahead and support Ash and all the great work that she does, go ahead and if you're buying merch from WWE Shop anyways, go ahead to WWEshop.com and use this affiliate link. You can go ahead and scan the QR code right here. You get the same great deals that all your other stuff will give you, the same promo codes. Nothing else changes, but you get Asher gets a little kickback from WWE on their half of the money, so she can go ahead and get a little bit of stuff for herself, so she can do great stuff like create these great graphics that we have. If you want to give Ashton even more money, you should go ahead and get the natural Astrid Pizarro shirt, which is modeled right here by the lovely Mel Ball Collins, and of course the handsome and debonair Mike the Ref. So you can go ahead and scan this QR code to get all of that. You can find me on Twitter at edfries12584. You can find me on Twitch at twitch.tv/edfries2002, where you can consistently hear me talk about how Becky Lynch is the most overrated of the four horsewomen, how she is the least talented in the ring, how she is the least talented on the microphone, and how if it hadn't been for a bloody nose, she would have been a nobody for the rest of her career.
No.
Yes. The man wouldn't be the man if it wasn't for the bloody nose from Nia Jax. Sasha. Barely. I dislike Sasha as a person. I like Becky Lynch as a person. I dislike Becky Lynch on camera. I think Sasha Banks is money on camera. SCG, are you kidding me? Can we mute Ed? I mean, we can.
Yes.
But Asher would have to host the whole show. And if Asher has to host the whole show, it's only going to take 20 minutes.
Exactly. See, we in and out. We discuss the important stuff and then we
No, we need the watch hours, Asher. These shows need to go longer.
Thank you, SCG, for being on my team. Yes, we can mute Ed more often. I will try that.
For myself, for the Queen of Olay, Asher Pizarro, we have been the Taking Over team, and we will see you next time